Hello, I've been playing a new game recently that's called Raft, R-A-F-T. It's what I like to call a time killer. It's not a full-fledged game currently, but it is a free download that I first saw about in PC Gamer magazine, the current issue out. The premise is you're floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean, and bits of flotsam will come by you, and you have to gather the flotsam, which is how you get resources, to build onto your raft and survive. I'm going to give you a brief show here. We're going to call this test game. And I'll start out on a raft, which looks essentially like 4 pallets lashed together. You see I have a grappling hook in my hand. Look around, you can see a shark out there. I'm looking for the flotsam that comes floating by. There it is. Everything will come from this direction because that's the current. And what I need to do, you can see in the bottom right hand corner I have a hydration marker, a food marker, and a health marker. Right now I don't need to worry about that, but obviously water is going to be an issue when you're on the ocean. As ironic as that sounds, but drinking salt water won't do you any good. Now I can use the grappling hook, or use, if I'm close enough, I can just reach down and grab it. Now the grappling hook is left click to charge, release to throw, and then push the left click again to pull it back in. Obviously the longer you hold the button and the charge is full, it goes further. And just press the button to pull it back in. And it is sticky. Anything that comes into contact with it will stick to it. You can do this. You can throw it out there and then reel it in a little bit and wait for stuff to hit it like this. And make sure you get all of it. Oh, I missed the scrap. Now that icon is scrap metal. Barrels obviously contain more than a single item. I always want to try and get the barrels. That one's got thatch and raw beet. Raw beets can be cooked to eat. Get both of those. Now the first thing I need to think about is this spear, because the shark will attack. It requires 4 planks, 2 rope, and 4 scrap metal. I've already got the planks and the rope, or in the scrap metal, so let's make some rope. I need 2 rope. Now we need to make that spear. And I need 2 more pieces of scrap metal. I was mistaken. Oh, look at that shark. I thought he was going to attack, and I don't have a way to fend him off yet. That's not good. Scrap metal, scrap metal. How many pieces do I have? Only 2. I need 2 more. Put my resources off of my hotbar, put them up here in the inventory. The inventory is accessed by pressing the tab key. There's a piece of scrap metal. Get that wood and the scrap metal. That gives me 3, just 1 more. In the meantime, I definitely want to get all the wood I can, the planks. Essentially, when you're first starting out, you don't want to miss anything if you can help it. Get as much resources as you can. I can see some metal in that. There we go. Got that scrap metal. And another piece of scrap metal with that plank. All right, let's make this spear. Okay, and I want to put him in hotbar 2. Now, I have actually, this is my 5th start to this game. The first 4 starts I died. I got carried away doing one thing or another, and I forgot about my hydration. And I died due to lack of water. Now, press the tab key brings up the inventory and a menu. The first set is tools, various quality of life products, and the second set, one of these you can see is called a water purifier. To make that, I need 4 scrap metal, which I have, and 1 rope. Let's see if we can make a rope. The third set is some furniture items to include a standing lantern, and the 4th set is nails, rope, and empty tin cans. Let's make that rope. Go back to the water purifier and make that. Now it's number 4 in my inventory on my hotbar. So let's select it, I want to put it right there. Notice it says you can press R to rotate this, but there's really no reason to right now, but we'll just put it right there. Now I need a tin can to collect the water with. And you can see here a tin can requires 2 more metal. I have to wait till I get 2 more metal before I can have anything to drink. There's some right there if it's... Ooh, I got the wood and the metal. Excellent. I need another piece of metal. If the flotsam comes close enough, you can just reach down and grab it. In the beginning, your raft is so small, it's difficult. I really need that metal, though. You can see my hydration level. And I did mention that I've already died several times attempting this. All right, was that? Yes. Make the empty tin can. All right, now, highlight 4, you can see, fill it with salt water, and then put it on the water purifier. Now, the next thing I need to concern myself with, see if I can reach down and grab this, is food. The shark's attacking. You can try to fend him off with a spear. He does damage your raft. Uh-oh, I need a drink. Come on, water. I need that metal also, though. Got it. All right. Let's have a drink before I die again. Fill with water. Cook some more. And here comes a barrel. See what kind of resources it has. All right, the basics. I've got the water. I've got my spear to fend off the shark. Now I need a food gathering method, which is a fishing pole. It takes 2 rope and 3 planks. I've already got the planks. Let's see if I've got enough palm fronds to make the rope. And a fishing pole. All right, let's throw it out there. Now currently, there's only one food source type that you can fish, and that's raw mackerel. You can see your bob is there, and it's a bite. Okay, so I've got a little fish. Now I've got to come up with a way to cook it. I'm going to get 2 fish. Again, I call this a time killer, so this is very simple. Just throw it out, wait until you get a bite on the line. And I want to take another drink, refill it with salt water, put it back on the cooker. Now, as far as cooking the fish, there's a cooking station, and I've got all the ingredients: 1 rope, 3 metal, and 2 planks. So let's go ahead and craft the cooking station, and we'll place it right there. And highlight 7, cook the fish, just like that. Now, I've got the essentials out of the way. I can defend from the shark, I can have food and water, and I need that metal right there. From here, it's all about expanding. Barrel. The reason you want to, at least the reason I want to expand, the shark, every time he attacks, he damages your raft. If he damages your raft enough, you lose a piece of it. And if it happens to be the piece where you had your food resource or your water resource on it, you got to start all over by building a new one, and you may not have the resources to do it. Now, when he damages it, you can also notice the tool section, there's a hammer. Let's make that right now. That's number 5. Once you have your hammer on, you hold down the right mouse button, it brings up a radio menu. One of the options is repair. Now, where did that shark attack? Right here. You can see I can repair this. It's down to 35 of 100, and I can repair it back up to 100. So let's do that. Pick up this thatch, as the game calls it. And I want to eat this mackerel and put one back on there. And the water's ready, so let's have a drink of water. And refill it with salt water and put it back on there. Now, there is no mechanism for the fire. It's just automatic right now. The game, I missed that totally. The game, again, as I called it, was a time killer, but I have read on the developer's forum that he's no longer making constant updates on it, or regularly, daily, weekly, whatever the case may have been, because now he's going to turn it into a full-fledged game. He said he was blown away by the amount of interest in it. He didn't really think that it would garner as much interest as it has, but since it has, he's going to work on it full-time to try to turn it into a proper game. That shark's coming directly at me. Is he going to attack again? Get the spear ready. Nope. And I should have tried to hit him, but I couldn't quite reach him. All right, let's have another mackerel and some more water. Now that I've got a means, I need to think about expanding my raft. Again, highlight the mallet, the hammer, hold the right mouse button, and look for foundation. That's how you expand. All right, I need 1 rope and 2 plank. I have 6 planks, so let's make some more rope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just make 6 rope while we're here. Now, the reason I'm going to expand like this, when the shark attacks, he can destroy your raft, and I do not want him to destroy the portion that has my resource devices on it, correct? Now, if he attacks, he cannot get to them directly. He has to first destroy the exterior, the outside planks, raft sections, and then come to the interior. And he doesn't attack like that. He attacks once at a time, which is pretty regular. As far as I can tell, it's approximately every 5 minutes and a half, something like that. I did make the effort to time it once, but I only did it once, so that's the depth of the research sample. About 5 minutes and a half for him to come back and attack me. All right, now that I can expand the raft a little bit, let's go ahead and do it. And some of the other options that you have in the building, the quality of life particular, you can see here I have a crop plot, which allows me to plant these raw beets, and there's also potatoes in it. There's the shark attacking. Let's hammer away at him, okay. And while we're thinking about it, let's repair this. He did it down to 45 of 100. So let's knock that back up to 100. No more wood. All right then. Need to get some more wood. I missed that thatch. So the problem at nighttime is difficult to see. I like to keep the fire. I need to get this barrel for sure. I like to keep the fire running because it does provide some basic light. Right here to see the edges of the raft when it's small like this. I see 2 barrels. See if we can get both of those. And as you reel in, you can pause, left mouse button to throw and charge, left mouse button to withdraw. But you can also pause it, and anything that runs into it will stick to it. Grappling hook is sticky. And again, I can't see anything because it's dark. Let's move these resources to the inventory. And let's put the tin can full of water back here so I can drink it and get the fire going again. It's very difficult at night to see unless it's floating directly towards you, the stuff that is out there. Now, what I want to do is fill in these 2 sections. I need rope, more rope. Always need rope. All right, now I feel a little better about what's going on because I have some leeway if the shark attacks. He's not going to get my resource producing items. Just reach down there and grab that. That's close enough to grab. And the sun is coming up. Just gather these resources that I can see right here. Metal, scrap metal. Right. One of the things that I find very useful, which is in what I call the quality of life, is this item net. It requires 3 rope and 2 planks. Now you can add this to your raft. Let's make one. All right, it's in 3 hot bar. Highlight it and then add it to your raft, and it will then catch items that run into the front of your raft. It's a little less resource intensive as far as you having to run around the raft and try to collect all this stuff, because that does help when stuff hits directly in front of you. I like these barrels. I tell you what, I've gotten more barrels this game than I think I've gotten any other game so far. I'm sure it's random, but I do like getting those barrels because they contain more than one resource. sometimes food items, which food so far in the game as far as what you'll get floating is raw beets and potatoes. And as you saw, you can fish raw mackerel. That's all that's in the game currently. And I can leave the hook there, and everything that runs into it will stick to it. Another thing that you can build are chests. We'll build one of those right now just to show you. And they can be placed. You can hold R to rotate, or press R. You don't hold it. You press R to rotate it around. I'm going to put the chest right there. And that gives me a place to store items that I collect instead of having it fill up my inventory. You can see my food bar is getting low again. Let's do a little more fishing. And again, it doesn't, so far as I can tell, it doesn't matter how far you charge up before you throw, whether you just drop it over the side or throw it out. Raw mackerel is all you're going to get. I've got 2 of those, so let's immediately throw them on the fire. If I can get around there. And we'll eat or drink the water. Put the can back on the cooker after we fill it up with water, of course. The chest has 10 storage slots. Now, this is the raw beet. I did mention there's potatoes, and here's palm seed. Palm seed, you make here the tree crop plot, and then you can grow palm trees. Here you make the crop plot, and you can plant the raw beet and the potatoes. And essentially, as I said, it's a little addictive, and it kills a little time. And so far, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I've died several times starting, and I did actually make one raft that was 3 stories. On my first story, I had here my cooking utensils and my storage. My second story was here comes the shark in for an attack. My second story is what I'm calling my living quarters. I had a chair and a table there. And then on my third story, which was obviously the one that got the most sunlight, is where I put my palm trees and my crop plots. Again, it's a fun little addictive game to kill some time with, in my opinion. Let's get this food and this water and put some more food back on. Drink the water. Refill it with salt water and put it back on the water purifier. And I enjoy it so far. It's something to do. You notice I fell in the water here. If you get in the water, you notice it says fatigue, and you press space bar to jump back out and hope the shark doesn't attack you. I honestly don't know if the shark will attack you because I haven't been in the water when he's around. And at this point in stage, I just didn't want to check it out. I was just so happy to finally be able to survive and not die in the first 10 minutes. And this is the game as it stands right now. Eventually, you just keep adding on and making more space, so forth and so on, and kind of sprucing up your life. What I normally do is put the net all the way across the front here so that anything that hits, ooh, I got to hit in on him. The front of the raft will be collected, and just one less asset that I have to worry about collecting. The description of the game and or the link will be in the description of the video. Ciao.